Hey everybody, so this is going to be another extension of the DoorBell parts and everything video. I'm going to show you it installed and everything, so please stick around, check out the video, and I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Alright everybody, so this is, I think, the third video. I don't remember. Yeah, this should be the third video. So this is everything that I had used for the transformer install and relocation for the DoorBell. So transformer, I got this off Amazon. I never did a video where I got the transformer, but it's 24 volt 40 VA thermostat and DoorBell transformer. It's an upgrade from the one I had installed in the house originally, which was a 5 volt 10 VA. This is a Class B insulation, Class 2 transformer, 24 volts, 40 VA. It gives, with the little wiring extension I had to do, which was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches, maybe 12 a foot max, what I added to the 120 volt lines, as well as extending the 24 volt side of the DoorBell circuit wires. I think I added 1.5 foot, maybe max, to all, just to have enough leeway to get it out further if I needed to maintenance it. But these are the items I used. Transformer, I used the Milwaukee M12 hacksaw with just a cheap Harbor Freight Hercules 14 TPI 6-inch blade, compact 2.0 battery. I used a tape measure, which this is just a chameleon magnetic tape measure. I used a Klein set of auto wire strippers. I used a pair of Tecton, which the word Tecton isn't on them anymore. It is on here, it's not on the handles anymore. Duck bills, these are, I think, 9-inch duck bills, and that was just to move the wires around other wires so I didn't, electrocute myself. I used conduit lock nuts, steel to 2-pack 3/4 lock nuts. I used the conduit that required the lock nuts, as well as electrical conduit. Cantex, I believe, is what it's called. Yeah, Cantex. There's the other piece right there. That was $1 for like 5 or so feet. I used Christie's Red Hot Blue Glue, PVC pipe cement. I used Scotch painter's tape. I used Ideal Wire Twist Nuts 773303, which is for, you can do 2 12 gauge solid wire and or stranded wire. I used 4 of these. And then 773302 Ideal Wire Twist Wire Nuts. These are, you can do 2 at 14 gauge, and these I used for extending the wires for the DoorBell circuit, which is 24 volt now. It was originally like 5.5 volts, something like that. I used cable cutters, which these are another Klein tool, to cut the solid wire. I used a hammer to put these anchors in, and these are the Duo Power anchors. I have this paper right here. These are the Duo Power Contractor Strength anchors, number 35, or it's a 35, number 6 and 10, and a 25, number 8 and 12. And I used the 25, which was the 8 and 12. It uses a 5/16 drill bit. I put them into masonry, which is this bit right here. It's the 5/16. I used a Milwaukee Shockwave 1 1/8 hole saw, spring-loaded hole saw. I used a quick lock, Milwaukee quick lock adapt 6-inch extension for an impact driver. I used a Makita number 2 Phillips 2-inch bit, Milwaukee Inksol marker, fine point marker, which is 48-22-3100. Use a cheap little Pittsburgh Harbor Freight isolated or insulated screwdriver. I used this Milwaukee Stubby bit driver with a Phillips 2 for preparing the box. So I can move these out the way. Oh, I used electrical tape because I put electrical tape over all the wire nuts and all the wires I did, so I know that was what was worked on. I used a Milwaukee 1-key 1/4-inch impact driver, which is 2857-20. And I also used my 1-key hammer drill it's the Gen 3, both of these are Gen 3. Hammer drill, which is 2806-20. I pulled up a bunch of PVC pipe that was a watering sprinkler system in the yard that never ever worked. Even probably before I bought the house, it didn't work. Recently I pulled out a bunch of PVC and then I capped off a line that still had water in it. Not really sure where the water's coming from, but I just didn't care enough to find out. But I used these pieces because they're also 3/4. I used these pieces to cut a bunch of these to mock up what length I needed to get it to fit properly. And then that was when I moved to the actual conduit gray PVC, which is a lot thicker. You can see it's a lot thicker walled, where this one is thinner walled. So that's why I have these here. I use this to finish the project. I use this to mock it up to get it to fit snug. And I used a multimeter to check the voltage. And this is, you can use whatever multimeter you want. I just used the Ames DM1000 multimeter, which worked just perfectly fine, no problems. The hammer was used for these anchors to knock them in. And then I'll take you guys outside and I'll show you what it looks like finished. It was just too hot to record it and do the video on it. So I also posted Instagram photos of the box open. If you guys want to go look at my Instagram on the photos of that. Here's the box. It's mounted to the block of the house. And then why I kept using the white PVC was because of this piece. I wanted it to fit snugly here on this piece, and I wanted to fit it snugly on this piece, and I wanted it to butt up against this box very snug. Less water intrusion. It also has a seal, a gasket around the lid. I didn't need it. It didn't need to be a clear cover or anything. I know what's in it. I'm gonna probably mark this box eventually with DoorBell transformer so we know what it's for. But this is what it looks like. I ran it in here, and then this is the front panel because this is a very old house. So anything that's got tape on it, these right here. Let me turn the light back on. These right here are the ones that I worked with. These two, this one and this one, are the ones that I fixed. And so the transformer is now sitting out here instead of inside the box. This is an old house, 60s, 70s range, so the requirements and everything were different back then. you can see that it doesn't fit very well. It sits sideways in the box. Get it locked down. It's always fitting crooked. You know, I don't know who built this house. They didn't do a very good job with it, but you know, it looks nice in my opinion. Doesn't look bad. It kind of fits because this box down here is the same color, and this was from Cox Communications. I do need to take this cover off, and I need to route the ground wire in. But it's you know, the original one didn't have a ground wire, so it's not necessary, but probably tomorrow, or you know, when it's not so hot, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to add an extension of ground wire to it, and I'm going to feed it through the box, and I'm going to run it out the bottom. Probably this one that's sitting here that's not holding any wires, I'm going to run it out the bottom, and I'm going to stick it to this ground right here. So it's grounded just because. And here's that. I dug all this up, and there was PVC running all the way across this dirt on the wall, next to the wall, which is why it's sitting up so high. And that PVC went to a 4-gang controller system here. It had 4 different separate controllers. They were on a loop, so the water would circulate and go back that direction. I took all of them out because it never worked. And this, I bought just a cheap thing of PVC, you know, a 2-foot section, and I cut it to the height, recovered the hole, and then I'll eventually tighten these down and probably glue the pipe in with, you know, red hot blue glue. But I just put a cap on it, so that way it's not in the way of anything, you know. And I got this corner needs to be cleaned. I have a couple handlebars from an old Mongoose bicycle over here. Project that I never finished. You know, I just got too busy. And I have a couple bikes here that are projects that need to be repaired again. There's the Mongoose over there. But, you know, just showing you the project. I am sorry I couldn't record it. It was just too hot. The camera battery probably would have lasted 5 minutes, if that. It took me probably a couple hours to do it. But figured I'd show you what tools and parts I used. In the previous 2 videos, I showed those, like the box and what the box cost. And I show the other parts that were picked up, you know, the PVC pipe and everything. But this is just a list of tools. The other 2 videos are a list of parts and stuff like that. I did grab other masonry bits. This is the Bosch 5/16. It's an all-in-one bit, impact tough multi-purpose bit. Brick, concrete, tile, stone, plastic, metal. You can use it in impact mode and rotary mode. These are some of the other sizes I grabbed. You know, 3/8, 3/16 in this style brick and block bit, and then another 1/4 inch and a 3/16. And these anchors right here require 3/16, 1/4 inch, and a 5/16. So I grabbed all 3 of those sizes, and the only one I used was the 5/16. That's why they're sitting here. And then I bought this hole dozer, which is, I don't know what size is it. I think it's 1 and 1/4. If I remember correctly, what's this one? Yeah, this one is 1 and 1/8. So this one over here is 1 and 1/8. So this one is 1 and 1/4. Realized it was way too big. And this 1 and 1/8 was slightly a little large too. I could have probably used the 1-inch version of this and been fine for the hole, but everything's sealed up, so it's not going to matter anyways. But I have this in the future if needed. So if I go buy one of the full-size 20-piece hole dozer kits or whatever, I'll have all the sizes and, you know, an extra shank if need be. But everything that was used in the project is here. Multimeter, whatever choice you have, whatever you have available. You don't need duckbill pliers. The only reason I used duckbills was because whoever wired the box wired it chaotically, and I needed a way to get the wire behind another set of wires and brought further out to me, easier to get to. You don't need to use a hacksaw or a recip saw of any kind. You can always just use a PVC cutter. Shears, I would recommend the red hot blue glue if you want it to be watertight. It was hard within probably 2 minutes of what I was doing. It was hard enough that when I ran the lines through the electrical lines, it didn't touch, it didn't wipe off on the electrical lines. It was already dry. The tape, I used it on the drill bit. That's what the painter's tape was for. But, you know, some kind of wire cutters, a hammer for hammering the anchors in. You can use tap cons if you want to. Problem with my house is this house is old, and every time I've drilled with a masonry bit into the house, the brick or block disintegrates, and tap cons need a solid structure to grip to. So if your brick is soft, tap cons I would not recommend. But these anchors are rated at, the ones I used, which is a number 8 and 12, they're rated at 270 pounds. And I was hanging off the box. I'm 205 pounds at the moment. So if I can hold onto the box, pick my feet up off the ground and hang off of it, it should be sturdy enough to hold a half-a-pound transformer in the box. And I just used a Pittsburgh insulated screwdriver for, you know, working on the screws for the front of the transformer for the 24-volt side. And a marker just to mark the box, because what I did is the pipe and this marker are close to the same size without the cap on it. And what I did is I just used this, I stuck it right there, and then I touched the box, the plastic box, and then I went forward and put a dot on the box to cut, and I flipped it, butted up against the box where I put the dot, and then I moved forward and I touched the box, and then I put this as a guide up against, you know, I put them in both the threaded caps on, and I threaded this side to the box so it was held still, and then I just marked around it on the box, the plastic box, to cut it out. But this is everything you're gonna need to do this kind of job, you know, depending on what you have, depends on what you're gonna use. You don't have to use the contractor strength anchors, but these anchors are actually pretty good. I kind of like the Hillman anchors. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, and the part number for the 1 1/8 bit for the impact hole saw bit is 49569820, if you guys are interested. But I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon for future updates. Go check out my Amazon affiliate links, my Acme Tools affiliate links, as well as my DJI Electronics affiliate links. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.